Is Borderlands 2 worth playing in 2025? Is it a more rounded game than Borderlands 3? Let's find out. First of all, let's talk about the story, because that is a major part of many video games. Borderlands 3 has better gameplay, but the story is where it comes, a bit lopsided. The story in Borderlands 2 feels so much more intriguing to play than in Borderlands 3. You have one of the greatest villains, in my opinion, in video game history, in Handsome Jack. He isn't too annoying like the Calypso twins in Borderlands 3, and he also makes jokes that make you absolutely hate him. Like when I'm playing Borderlands 2, I actually genuinely want to go and murder that dude. Also, the progression in Borderlands 2 is fantastic, and it holds up to many games that are still made to this day. As you progress, you get more and more levels, and you can flesh out your character in so many different ways. Also, early game looks so much different than late game because there's True Vault Hunter mode, normal mode, and Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, which each bring new enemies and harder enemies and better weapons. Oh, also, did I mention you can build whatever character you want? Like, if you want to build a character that does explosive damage, you can do that. Krieg is a perfect character for that. Salvador, he has 2 guns. This is one of the most OP characters in the franchise. Want to build a character based mostly on critical damage? Yeah, you can do that too. There's so many possibilities in this game. Also, as you progress the game, you're going to come across more enemy types and different elements for weapons. And the different elements include fire, electricity, slag, which slag is very overpowered because it increases your damage output on enemies by a lot. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but it's incredible. And slag is very overpowered in this game. In fact, in the later game, you kind of need it to defeat many bosses, but I like slag because it was not introduced in the first game, and I feel like it very much improved the experience of the game overall. There's also corrosive, there's also explosive, which isn't really an element. Those are basically all of the elemental types that you can use. Incendiary is used for like human type enemies, corrosive is used for robots. Shock damage does really good against shields. Explosive damage does splash damage to all enemies in the immediate area. And slag just makes your damage output incredibly insane. One downside if you're comparing Borderlands 3 to Borderlands 2 is that the movement is way less fluid. Sure, you can run and jump in Borderlands 2, but the mantling and sliding in Borderlands 3 makes it way more fun to move around and get to different places. Also, even if you aren't really playing the game for its gameplay and mechanics, the story in Borderlands 2 is strong enough to make you want to play through the game anyway. You don't even need to be a big fan of the gameplay because the story in that game is incredible. Another big difference between Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 2 is that the graphics are much less vibrant and textures aren't as detailed, but if you can get past that, which I feel like you can, it is a great experience and you shouldn't be too worried about running it on most computers because it is a game made in 2012 and the graphics aren't that resource intensive. So you should be able to get away with a pretty weak graphics card and CPU. Then you have all of the characters, and this is a part where I think Borderlands 2 has the advantage over Borderlands 3 because the characters in Borderlands 2 I feel like are much more eccentric and more out there, like they feel very fleshed out. So there are 6 characters in Borderlands 2, there's 4 default in the base game and 2 DLC, and I feel like the characters in Borderlands 3 aren't as memorable. I mean, they're okay in Borderlands 3, but in Borderlands 2 I feel like the characters are much more fleshed out. You also have one of the most OP characters ever made in Borderlands history in Salvador. He can wield 2 weapons at the same time while also gaining health and doing more damage, which is insane. Then you have Axton who can deploy a turret, and you can even get to 2 turrets, which is awesome. You also have Maya who can suspend enemies in the air and do slag damage to do insane damage. Then there is Zero who can become invisible and do insane critical damage while hidden. And while hidden, enemies can't find you either, so that's really helpful for running past enemies. And the 2 DLC characters are Krieg, a really cool bandit, which is actually who I'm playing here in this gameplay. And then there is Gage who can summon a massive robot to help you fight. So yeah, there are a lot of different ways that you can play this game, which is part of the reason why I definitely believe that you should play this game in 2025. Overall, this game runs great, has an amazing story, and has an insane amount of replayability. Oh, also, it goes on sale a lot on Steam for very low prices. Just recently during the spring sale, it was going for $4.99, $5.99. So that's a really good deal for that game, especially because of the replayability. So yes, I do believe you should play this in 2025. So yes, I do believe you should play this in 2025. It is a crap ton of fun, and you can also play with your friends, which is a great experience. I hope all of you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please consider subscribing and leaving some feedback in the comments. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.